Hola YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. Today I'm gonna be speaking with someone which is as much as a wheel addict as I am. Over the last 15 years, this inline skater from the UK who's been living in Barcelona for way too long, but I don't really know for how long he's been living in Barcelona, but we're gonna know today. This inline skater has been developing new products, team managing some brands. He started his own shop and right now is one of the most influential persons when it comes to skating. So let's make a phone call to this guy you guys might know as Oli Benet. Let's see how this goes. We had a few problems with audio. Let's hope that the whole thing works right now. How you doing, Mr. Oli Benet?
How you doing, Mr. Lino? How are you doing?
I'm good. Should I tell you to count to 10 for the millionth time?
Oh my God. You're lucky it's not 20. I can't count to 20. I've installed Skype on 2 computers, 1 Mac, 1 PC, 1 iPad and 1 phone because none of them were working. And they all went off at the same time. It was chaos in here. Like a rave.
But that's all good because you're still a DJ, right?
Not a Skype DJ. That's a new thing. I could try.
Yeah, but now you got headphones because Mr. Oli Benet had to go and buy some headphones to do this Skype interview. So now you get new headphones so you can be a Skype DJ.
I know. I got a proper microphone. I had 2 headphones. One Euro one from China. I just went to a corner shop down the road and they were trying to sell me second-hand earbuds with wax all over the ear and everything.
Did they work?
I was like, do you have any without earwax on them? He's like, that's not earwax. I was like, that's definitely.
But that was for free. The earwax was for free, so you should have bought them maybe.
I guess so. I didn't think of it like that.
Anyway.
Oh man, what a day.
So
how long did it take us? It took us 1 hour and 10 minutes to set up.
Yes, and I was like, but it's also my problem. It's not just you. So I'm still an amateur with this, man. But we're trying. That's all that matters.
For an amateur, you've done very well for yourself. The lion life. All over the internet.
The lion is so good. Wow.
The lion life. No, but you are really doing an amazing job, so well done for that.
Thank you so much. I've been just the intro that I just did before making this phone call, I couldn't say anything wrong about you. Even if a few years ago, somehow in my head, you weren't doing the best things, but nowadays, I have to admit, I was the wrong one. I'll explain you later, but
I've always done the best thing. Did you remember to say that I was very, very strong and good looking?
You still are, man.
I didn't mean that. Yeah.
So,
anyway,
first question, man. Why do you live in Barcelona? Aren't you from the UK?
Well, my father is Spanish, from close to Barcelona. My mother is Welsh, and they met in England and then had me. But as a kid, we would come to Spain for holidays, and for me, it was just the best place in the world. And I was pressuring my parents so much to move to Spain. And they had work in England, so they couldn't. And as soon as I was old enough, when I finished my minimum studies, minimum, at 15, I was like, I'm moving. And I just left and came to Spain. I just loved it here from really young.
But did you do university or anything like that in Spain, or you never went to university?
No, I went to school for sort of secondary, between 16 and 18 school, but I got kicked out after about one. I didn't exactly get kicked out, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do school, and I wasn't doing very well. And the headmistress recommended to my parents that they take me out. And also, I was already getting more into skating, and I just, I guess when you're early 90s, well, late 90s, you're really into a sport like I was with skating. I just didn't want to study. I'm like, why am I learning history or something? I'd rather go and jump on a
But from what I remember, you always had a business mind. I don't know why. I always had that idea about you. So,
well, when I left school, I actually got an amazing job. So I was 17 years old, maybe 17, 18, and I got a job as a sales representative for an English company in Spain. And that included, they provided me with a car, with a flat, and like an amazing wage for the time.
No headphones. They didn't give you headphones.
No. Damn it. I was selling like lava lamps and picture frames. No headphones. And so what I had to do is I got in my car and I had like a car full of like samples. So like picture frames, water lamps, lava lamps, table lamps. And I'd go to all like warehouses around Spain and try and sell this stuff to them. I did the whole thing myself, all the invoicing, all the selling. And I would go to these places and it would just be full of like 50, 60-year-old men with their cigars. And there would just be me, like a 17, 18-year-old kid that spoke sort of half Spanish, half English. And it was really good. And I did that job for right up to about 24, I think, when I got offered a job at Powerslide with like 250,000 times less wage and no car and no flat. And I still took it, which was crazy at the time.
Nah, man, but you were doing what you love to. I remember when I was already skating for Powerslide. I wasn't still working for Powerslide, but I remember having a meeting with Bauer and Matthias, and that's when Matthias first offered me to be a team manager for Undercover. And that day when I came out of the meeting, I remember I was speaking to Bauer, and they were just saying that back then, even if you were just a skate tester, you were the best athlete that they had back then, because you were the only one giving feedback and like always excited about trying stuff. I think like that's something that a lot of people I think there was a lot more people excited about skating, but no one was really trying to do something for skating as much as you were already back then. So
I think I came from a background because when I was young, I was working at my parents', they have a light fitting shop. So I was always building lamps. And when Powerslide was sending me all these goods, I just loved taking them apart and seeing how they were made. And like, at the time, I just really liked the idea of thinking of ways of making things better. So I'd send so many emails like, oh, I like this, but this has happened. Why don't you change this? Why don't you do that? And they really, really enjoyed this. But for me, it was just a hobby. I just felt like doing it. And then they started asking me more and more questions about stuff I didn't know. So they would send me more and more goods to test. And I was loving it. I just had loads of things to play with all the time. But I never thought of doing it professionally.
No, but now I start like putting dots together. One question: did the LED lights, the photon lights, came from you? Because now I see like you had like a lamps background. Then you mix, and then you come into skating. Did you put all that together?
No, that was Kenneth. That was absolute genius from Kenneth, because even though it already existed, he came up with the idea of putting it on skates. And I think a lot of people might have just said, oh, that's just cheesy. But I mean, it's unbelievable how many, millions of those wheels are sold, like millions. It's brilliant.
Just give me 1 second, because I think my dog has a flea and he can't stop scratching. So there's a lot of noise coming in here. Deco, I just gave you the...
That's sexy. Very sexy.
Yeah. Just this dog. But at least she doesn't have earwax, which is a cool thing. Sorry, man.
I've got random earwax in my ear alongside my own earwax. And then I'll just put it all together and make a block for skating later. You know? Have you tried earwax on rails?
No, not really. But the surf wax works really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, have you tried it?
I always use candles.
Yeah, the thing is, candles are like, imagine, look at surf wax as when you have candles in summer, like with like super warm temperature, they tend to get like super soft. So if you go to a really rough ledge, if you have surf wax, and maybe not in the summer, because then it's gonna melt everywhere. But like when it's cold, I don't think you have that much of that problem in Barcelona. But like for people who live in cold places, if they have surf wax, they work really nice on ledges, because somehow they just work like regular candle in summer.
That's kind of ironic, though, because if you live in a cold place, you probably won't be able to get surf wax.
Yeah, man, that's a business to start, huh? A business to start right there.
I don't know. Surf wax skate shop.
Surf the ledges in the winter.
Yeah. Let's not do that.
So, you didn't start the photon wheels, the light wheels, but...
No, that was Kenneth.
Yes, but
I mean,
where did the power blading thing came from? The big wheels, UFS, did that came from you?
That's a good question. Power blading...
maybe you shouldn't say the whole word, huh? Because you might be sued just from saying...
They've already tried to sue me twice.
So just tell us the whole story.
I think maybe legally I'm not allowed to say the word rollerblade. So we'll have to beep that one out.
Just say the I can put the beep. I can say roller beep. It's all good. That's not a problem.
I don't even know anymore. Basically, I moved to Barcelona. I lived in a town very far away, and I had to drive always. And then I moved to the center, and parking a car in Barcelona it's just it's impossible. It's a nightmare.
Man,
it's like
last time I was there with a car was 2 years ago for the Barcelona roller dance. And I had to took my van when I was living in Portugal. I had that cargo van. And I had to took the van with me. And I ended up spending 200 euros just to be in Barcelona for 2 days because there was no other way for me to have a car in Barcelona. So 2 days costed me 200 euros. And I didn't even use the car because then I couldn't park it anywhere. So
I know. And not only that, if you park it on the street, you're very likely to have it broken into or hit. So I had this really, car I really liked, but I couldn't park it anywhere. So I sold it. And I asked Powerslide to give me some UFS frames, that were on the sale, for 80mm UFS frames for my shadows.
Yeah, I remember those, the aluminium ones.
Exactly.
I
basically, I wanted to move around town. I didn't want to use anything other than skates because I've been skating my whole life, every day. And at that time, I was skating around on aggressive skates. And it was the first time I tried.
That wasn't the most enjoyable thing, huh?
No. But for us, it was normal then. Now I can't do one street on aggressive skates. I just can't do it. It's too hard. And I put these 80mm wheels on, and it just felt amazing. I just felt like I was flying, you know. And I did it for myself, so I can't say that I made anything magical happen. But I just enjoyed doing that. And then Richie Eisler moved to Barcelona for the Powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And he first came to my house, and where they were, the Powerhouse was about maybe 40 minutes, half an hour skate from my house.
Yeah, we're talking about 2010, 2011, right? Something like that.
Oh, geez, I can't remember.
Yeah,
maybe earlier, no? Yeah, it must have been about that. And he didn't have a bike card. He only had aggressive skates or not even. He didn't speak the language. And I was like, look, you just want to borrow these skates and skate to the house, and I'll give you a map. Because there was no other way unless I took him there on a bus or something, which is really annoying. And then he went home, and he was like, wow, that was the most fun ever. And then Dustin came, and he tried them too, and he loved them too. And then we sort of sat together, the three of us, and we're like, this is the best feeling, just to roll around again. I think maybe aggressive skating had got to a point where everyone had gone almost down to Type M frames and 54mm wheels.
Yeah, and back then we were talking about people weren't even using 60mm wheels. They were using
no.
I remember that your wheels were selling the most because they were 57s or 58s, and mine were
55s. I think mine were 55.
No, but the second one was a little bit bigger. I remember mine was a 54.
Maybe. But even I like skating 55s. I thought, more space to grow.
Same with me. 54s, less to bend when you topside. Cheating.
You had 54.
Yes. 2 years in a row, 54s. Like a real gangster.
I would have thought that was fine. Wow. So we would that's brave. And we suddenly found a new thing that we suddenly loved. It was just skating around. But we missed, we were trying to grind on our aluminium frames, but we were scratching them all, and you couldn't change the bolts. So we wrote to Powerslide and said, Powerslide, why don't we make a grindable frame so you can also travel around and grind? And at the time, free skate or fitness was a very negative thing. If someone free skated, it was because they were too afraid to do aggressive skating.
Mm-hmm.
And if you saw the videos, they were really bad. A lot of the videos were just people doing Michael Jackson's jumping off a curb and stuff,
Yeah, no control at all. I know what you mean.
so we didn't want to suddenly become like free skaters or fitness skaters. So we thought, well, let's make up a new name that makes it a cool new sport, because it was impossible to market to free skating, and even powerblading was almost impossible because a lot of hate came to it. But the actual powerblading name, I believe, came from the Vine House in Australia, where like CJ, and I think he got some skates from Seba or something, or he just had some secondhand skates, and he just was let's go powerblading, and he would just power off in his powerblade. And Richie said that they all thought it was cool to call it powerblading in the Vine House. And we all thought, yeah, that works. That's really, it sounds a lot more fun than free skating and fitness skating down the beach. So we decided to create a powerblading line from Kaiser, which was the Advance and the Arrow. And we didn't even want to groove. We just wanted to a sort of fitness skate, but really fast.
You could mark you and stuff like that, basically.
Yeah. The idea was just to go really fast and do quick grinds. And that was powerblading. But it didn't have much. It sort of had a really strong support with the powerblading.org, the website that I built. Like, it wasn't a Powerslide thing. I just did it because I wanted to push the thing. It was my project. And it did really, really well. The problem was there became a problem because Rollerblade own pretty much anything that has the word blade in it. And they also had a skate called the Powerblade.
Oh my God.
In the 90s or something. And then it all got really complicated, and then letters, and in the end, it was just something I wasn't making any money off. So I just sort of, not that I wanted to make money, I loved the whole thing, but I didn't want to be in legal problems because of it. And it sort of let it drift away.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Even like when the first three-wheel skates first showed up, at first they were tri-blades. And then they had to be, I remember, I saw like, there was like a 30-page email PDF from Rollerblade just saying like, you better roller beep, just saying that you need to.
I don't know. I mean, I think they are the ones that take themselves the most serious in a way. I think what the story is that they sort of ignored their trademark for a long time. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I think they lost it somewhere, because people started calling it rollerblading so often. Like, I don't know if it's Kleenex that lost it, but if you use a word so much, then your trademark's revoked. And then they sort of, now they're being really anal about it. And I don't know, whatever. Like, they would sooner send you a letter from a lawyer than just asking you nicely. Like, but whatever. I mean, they're like a multi-million-dollar company owned by a ski company.
Which is Nordica.
It's not really. Right? Yeah. When you've got like a Nordica as the owner of your company, you can do anything.
But you were also into the three-wheel thing in the beginning. I remember it was like mainly with Kenneth and you, right? When the three-wheels first start coming on skates. When they first started using three-wheel skates. Again, because back in the early 90s, late 80s, the first skates, they were three-wheels, but...
I don't remember my first three-wheel skates.
Was it? Oh, no, the dupes.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I did. Yeah, basically what happened is they made the 110 Mega Cruiser frames, which I tried with 125 wheels straight away, and it was quite scary, actually. I remember just flying down a hill and the car shot out, and I thought I was going to die. I thought it was the end of my life. But getting around was a lot of fun, and it makes so much sense to do three wheels because if it's the same length, it's so easy to turn. And, the smaller the wheel, obviously, the more aggressive the skating. So jumping, grinding, sliding. But skating is also the best way of getting around town. It makes so much sense to have big wheels because, you notice less of the bad flaws.
I think it makes a lot of sense to skate around town for us, but at the same time there's a big problem with skating, which is you still need to take your shoes off and putting them on, and I think that I'm pretty sure that's the reason why Dupe first came out as a skate for fitness skating or free skating or whatever you want to call it, like transportation. But the question that I was
problem with
sorry, no, you can say it.
No, I'd say like the Dupe was a really good idea, and I think it's good for like advanced skaters, and the shoe thing's convenient. but in the end, you still have to carry your skates everywhere, so it's sort of semi-convenient.
Yeah.
And I think there's not really, I mean, even if you're on a bike, you still have to chain a bike up. So there's not like a perfect, if you have a car, you have to park a car. The fact is, it's always something you have to add to yourself. Skates in between all the other things.
But I guess that's like the same as the skateboarding, right? The skateboard. If you skateboard around town, you still need to carry it, even if it's like it's a trendy, cool thing, or it used to be, because now it's somehow it's not as trendy as it used to be.
No.
But the question is not even that. Like, the reason why I asked you about the 3 wheels thing is like, doesn't it feel good after like a brand like that tried to sue you and all that stuff, now is trying to do something that you feel like since the beginning you're part of it, like the 3 wheel thing, skating, like developing a new product, and now all these, like a multi-millionaire brand, like a, I don't even know how you say it, like a really rich brand.
Yeah, multi-million-dollar.
Yeah. Now doing the same, like imagine you develop the products and now you see like the big ones come and they use your idea. Somehow doesn't that feel good? No?
Yeah, I mean, if I thought that they were a pioneer, then in a way, yes. But I think when you become such a big company, you sort of lose, like, I've got to be really careful to talk bad about Rollerblade, because I've got friends that are involved, but like it's not like they've come out with any revolutionary products in about 20 years, since like the TRS or something.
The Greg skate is quite cool. The new Metro Blade is cool. I like the skate, the way it looks and everything. It's completely different.
Actually, that's very clever, and I like the way they've mixed the carbon and the plastic.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you compare it to a Deshi, it's not that much different.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very similar construction. And like I don't want to say that Rollerblade tried to sue me either. I have to be very careful. Okay. I'm just the one little guy. But I think Rollerblade had to basically Powerslide were the first, you know, with the Pleasure Tools frame. It was absolutely brilliant. And you have to recognize that. But it wasn't very good for plastic skates. And then Flying Eagle came along with the Supersonic, which was ideal for plastic skates. And then who else? Seba came out with them. Like, if Rollerblade didn't come out with it, they would just be so far behind that they kind of had to. Of course, I like the fact that they followed on. I don't really know how. God, I have to be so careful. Yes, it's very nice. How about that for an output? Lovely. Lovely. I want everyone to be happy and healthy.
Now that you spoke about, like, you were speaking about like huge brands like Fila, and Fila maybe not as big in skating, but big as a brand, or at least it used to be. Like even Nike was in skating, and Rollerblade, K2, and all those. You know exactly the size of Powerslide. When I mean the size, is like how much people work inside, how big are the offices, how big are the warehouse. Can you just explain to the people listening to this how big it is? Because a lot of people they refer to Powerslide as if they're talking about Adidas of inline skating, something like a huge like corporation. Like,
I think if you'd have to compare the different brands, you've got like you know, say with K2, Fila, they're probably in a very similar type thing. You know, they're owned by, well, actually Fila is a license. It's not even actual Fila. But obviously they're focused on superstores, decathlons, and fitness skates. And I'm not really sure how many people in that company skate. So they just sort of produce products.
Yeah.
K2 obviously.
Do you think Fila has their own molds, or they just buy?
No, I'm pretty sure they don't, for sure. I don't think Fila's a very big company, if I had to guess. I don't know for sure, but like the people I've spoken to at Fila are really nice. But it's not, they're not massively in sort of part of the core scene, as it were. But I mean, they live off commercial, really, not what the, you know, us lot.
Okay.
And then obviously K2 sort of pops in and pops out ever so often, but doesn't really
What's your
doesn't
opinion
really.
about K2? I know that you had a little problem with K2. Man, if you don't want to talk
Well,
about it, it's all good. But me and Jan, we spoke about it a little
no,
bit on the interview that we did last week. So
yeah, K2. I've never had an opinion at all about them because they're not present in places like Spain. You know, I know they're big in Germany, but no one in Spain skates K2s. I've never even seen a pair, I think, except from a tourist or something. So they weren't really on my radar. But I tried on the new K2s, and I really thought they looked pretty cool, and I liked the comfort. And I thought they were quite clever. But the way they've managed the business side has been horrific to us. You know, we basically had to pre-order them, and with like a year in advance almost, or 6 or 7 months in advance, and they arrived at the shop, and we immediately put them on the price that they told us to sell them for, and then they were selling them on Amazon for 70 euros cheaper than us, like 70 euros cheaper than the shops. Of course, that means that as a shop, you might as well just throw them away. And we had the option of either sending them back after like emailing back and forth. I emailed loads of people, and no one were answering me. So I just feel like they're not very helpful. Unless it was a mistake, I just think it's really not a nice way to treat the shops. Because if without shops, you're not going to have people being able to try stuff on. You're not really going to just browse online and find out skates on Amazon, but you might walk past the shop and go, "Oh, I wouldn't mind trying skates." I don't know.
the thing is, in my opinion, the shops, at least the ones that I know in Spain, they're not just shops, man. I look at your shop and I know, like, you're doing classes. It's like you offer classes. People can go there, they buy the skate, but it's the whole experience. You'll teach them how to skate. You'll take them out. Like, whenever you guys organize events, people are informed about it. It's just, of course, in the end, you sell skates and you make some profit, but the whole thing is making the scene grow. So if some brands are not really into helping that, man, I don't want to say anything bad or wrong about it, but
I know. I just think there's like two sides to the industry. There's the business side, which is completely understandable. I mean, every business is a business, and there are some that care. You know, like Powerslide. We were talking before about how big or small they are compared to these brands. I've had my problems with Powerslide, like ever since I opened the shop. It's been love-hate relationship, but I can't deny that they've always really wanted to progress skating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bit too much because there's just way too much going on for a shop to deal with. But the fact that they did bring in the photons, which revolutionized, I think a lot of people noticed skates because of the photons and the three-wheel thing. I know that they're trying to make skating look cool with the sways and stuff.
The swells, you mean?
Yeah, I always get them muddled up, the swells. But I know they keep bringing out aggressive skates in a time where it's not easy to sell aggressive skates.
I know.
And, but it's definitely driven by passion. It's kind of like a crazy clown car or something with loads of things going on all the time, but you know, really like passionate about it. Whereas I think most of the other brands are sort of popping in and out. Say, anything happening now? Ooh, I'll try again in a couple of years. How about now? No, I'll come back again later. But at least Powerslide, you know, and they're also not owned by anyone apart from people.
Yeah, the thing is, like what happens with Powerslide is, like, we were speaking about it yesterday. Like, man, we both. That's one of the things that I said in this intro. Is like I call myself a wheel addict, but you're not less of a wheel addict than I am. But the thing is, Powerslide is owned by a wheel addict himself, which is Matthias. Like, he's probably even more addicted to skating than we are, and it's weird. It's like I speak with him about developing a roller skating, and I'm explaining him how the skate needs to be in a backslide or whatever, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Then he's talking with like the best speed skater in the whole world, and he knows exactly what it's. I know it's his business, but at the same time, the amount of detail and the amount of knowledge that he has with all types of skating, it doesn't matter if it's roller derby, if it's whatever. It's just
for sure. He's an incredible guy. Like, working with him, I was a huge fan. Because because he just loves every single type of skate. He gets super excited about an aggressive skate. Have you ever even done aggressive skating? He sort of skated around the park.
He did, huh? He told me. You know what? He told me like when skating first started, that was at the same time they also started distribution for some brands. So back then it was like Hyper, and I think he started also with Senate and all that stuff. And it was before, I think it was before USD, a little bit before USD. So he started aggressive skating, and Bauer was also aggressive skating. So then he went to a race, because he used to be like, for some people that don't know, he used to be like a really, really good speed skater. So he went to a race somewhere, I don't know if it was in China or something like that. So he was away for like 2-3 weeks. So when he got back, the other guys like Bauer could already do a lot of tricks. So he's like, oh my God, I can't pick up with these guys. So he can, he's a master. I think he stay there. But
yeah, he's great. I think maybe he drives people crazy at work because he's so passionate about it. But I mean, he's the first person there, and he's the last person to leave, like every single day.
I know, man.
Like, now I own my own company. I sort of arrive late and stuff.
No, and it's like you had a few meetings with him. So, you know, like when you're having a meeting and then he's just like, okay, just give me half an hour. And then he goes out. He goes for the physiotherapist or whatever because his back is not the best. And then he comes back to the meeting. Yeah. And then he keep having the meeting. And then 2 hours later, he's like, I need to go for a skate. Then he goes for a skate, half an hour, 45 minutes. He trains and he comes back. And the whole thing keeps going. It's just funny, man.
Yeah. I remember, like, I was skating. I was obviously in aggressive skating for many, many years. Oh, I started, like, really young. And I thought I was, like, awesome. Like, super cool skater dude. And he was just like a fit. But us aggressive skaters back in the day, we thought anyone that did do aggressive was an amateur, you know? So I was like, cool, but he's just speed skating, whatever, but that's just sort of skating along the beach. So I went skating with him, and he was pushing me the whole way. He's like, man, you have terrible style. That's not how you skate. He was laughing at me. And I, for the first time, realized I wasn't a super cool skater dude better than all the other people. He was like, I don't know, what, 50 odd, and I was like 25 or something. He was pushing me.
Everyone that skates with those two guys, him and Scott. Scott is the guy in charge of I think he's the guy in charge of speed skating at Powerslide.
Yeah.
He moved to, you know him, but some people listening to this don't know him. So Scott is just, he moved from New Zealand to Germany and is in charge of the speed skating department. Like those two guys, like it's a complete joke. They're always making fun of each other. And like they're way too good at skating, both of them.
Well, and when Joost was there too, it was just a beef between all of them. Who could skate the fastest and do the best double push.
Anyway, so I'm going back to the beginning of this when I told you that for a few years I was like, I used to look at Oli and I was like, somehow I felt like Oli did something wrong. And of course you were doing the best, but for me, you know what happened? I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but this is what happened really. So a few years ago, before, like I already knew you, and I had that meeting that I just said in the beginning of this interview that I'm doing with you, and Powerslide proposed me to do brand management, and at the time it was team and brand management for Undercover. So Undercover was about to change from the cheapest brand in the market, the cheapest wheel brand in the market, to a real wheel brand, and we wanted to try something different. That's when we came with a colored wheels idea, because back then all the wheels were white and boring. So that's when we came first with those wheels, and I had to put a team together. And when I put the team together, there was a few skaters that I put on the team. One was Matthias Auger, and one of the other ones was you. And the reason why I put you on the team was like, of course I knew how good of a skater you were, I knew how professional you were, and at the same time you could help me with two markets, because you were living in Spain, but you were originally from the UK. So you having a pro wheel, the UK people would buy your wheel, and then the Spanish people would buy your wheel. Somehow I was like trying to get to two markets with one skater because I had like reduced budget. And that was amazing.
Which I'm still very thankful for.
Nah, man, you were amazing with it. And I'm not going to say that you did anything wrong. I'm just going to admit how wrong I was. And that's why I'm having these conversations. So what happened later was like, you kept doing always an amazing job, and always like every time that I sent you an email for like whatever, a wheel graphic or whatever we needed to do, you always came with the wheel graphic the next day, or 2 or 3 or 5 options, and then someone helping to editing the video, and already with ideas for the next year. And like, it was your passion talking for you, like just you were doing it really, really good. And what happened was like, I was just too young and was too busy traveling and partying and drinking at night and whatever. I wasn't even living in Portugal back then. I think I was living in Hungary, and I was always just trying to go from place to place, place to place. And for me, what I was doing was like something that I thought it was like would never change. So I wouldn't even reply to emails the whole time, and I wasn't, seriously, nowadays if I look back, I was the worst guy to do the job I was supposed to. Not because not because I didn't have the passion, or I didn't have the communication with the skaters, but I didn't understand back then how important it was for me to stay in contact with the mother house that was Powerslide, and with the skaters and all that. I was in contact with the skaters, but replying emails was part of my thing. Every single day I should have stopped a little bit and do my thing. And I couldn't think about it, man. Like I told you, I was too busy with a lot of things. But you were that guy. You were doing, because I remember back then you were still working for maybe that lamp company. I remember that you were still working with something else.
Yeah.
So you were sitting on the computer, you're doing all those things that I should be doing. So slowly you start getting into the brand, and slowly I start getting out of the brand. So when I finished my graduation, I was just, for me back then, now that I look at it, just seems weird, but for me back then, I remember looking at skating and thinking, I don't really know if I want to do this. I felt like I don't know, like a lion in a cage in circus somehow. I wasn't doing it because I wanted anymore, and I was doing because I had to, but no one ever told me to do something. I was just putting myself in that situation, and you were doing the exact opposite. So somehow inside me, I started growing something against you, and like, why? Why is he?
You know, I had no idea.
Yeah, but it's a stupid thing, you know. That's why I'm telling you this. Somehow I ended up growing something inside me, like he's taking my place. And you weren't taking my place. You were doing your job, which wasn't even a job. You were doing your thing as you should have been doing. And I wasn't doing my thing. And so it was just a natural...
Everyone has some kind of... I mean, you must be right in some ways. Like, for me at the time, I was... I'd been asked to start a clothing brand, so I started Stygma.
Yeah, but that was amazing.
Clothing, Powerslide didn't really know how to manage a clothing company. You know, you order so many sizes, and then skate shops weren't really selling clothing anymore since Senate sort of, and all those brands had stopped doing clothes. And so they kept getting left with lots of random sizes. And they said to me, all right, well, instead of doing that, how about you do Deshi as well? I was like, okay, I'll do Deshi now. And then they were like, oh, okay. And obviously when I started doing Deshi, I was a team rider, and Randy Spicer and Louis Zamora were doing Deshi. But they were not answering emails at all.
I know what you mean.
Time, I think. But I don't really know, because I wasn't in the management part. Matthias just said to me one day, look, can you manage Deshi for me? And I was like, right, sure. Okay, that's like a dream come true in a way. But I know for sure probably Spicer and Zamora also were really angry about it. Against me, I imagine also. But at the time, I was working for a company that I was, like I was saying, I'd drive around, sell all my stuff, and then I'd spend the rest of the week just typing up invoices. So I was just on the internet all the time. So anytime an email came in, I would just answer it straight away. And Matthias, on the other hand, was dealing with riders that were probably, I don't know if they were up skating or whatever they were doing, but they could only answer emails maybe once a day.
Man, I remember I should be replying emails more than once a day. And for so many times, I didn't even reply emails once a day. So that's why I said, like, I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. It was just like the way things went, and the way I felt things back then. And it took me a few years, man. Only like, let me tell you, I think like 2 years ago. So it was like a few years that like somehow I didn't understood what was happening, and I thought you were the one doing something wrong. But I spoke with you last year, kinda. But that's why I also wanted to have this conversation, and I'm cool with that. Like speaking about it right now, because it took me a little bit to understand. First, like it took me a little bit to understand why I should be skating, man. I somehow stopped skating for a bit because of I thought my body couldn't take it anymore. So I was riding bikes. because I couldn't do like stupid drop rails or super steep rails anymore.
You did a lot of stupid drop rails.
I know, but my body couldn't take it anymore. So every time I was trying to skate, my feet was getting super swollen, and I just thought, no, I can't skate anymore. But it took me I think it was back when I moved to Cape Town. That's when I slowly started skating, like just distance skating and skating around, like completely enjoying skating on a different level, you know. And that's when I realized like what I wasn't doing, and I think that's when I started working with Powerslide again, which was like around 2.5 years ago. That's when I realized how wrong I was before, and how you didn't do the wrong stuff that I thought you did. So
I probably did make a lot of enemies. I mean, maybe I was quite ambitious, but at the same time, I was just so passionate about it. That every email, I remember every email from Matthias, and I'd get maybe 20 a day. I'd be like, yes, what does he say? Yes, what's this one saying? I just really liked it. So for them, it made sense, I guess, because if they were paying you to do Undercover, me to do Stygma, Louis and Brandy to do Deshi.
Yeah, they expect everyone to react the same, but then one is like always there, and then the other one does it once in 2 or 3 days, replies to the emails. It's not the same, so it's just...
Yeah. But I think what that happened is that, you know, if you've got one guy that's constantly, you know, maybe I was too eager, like the goody-goody of the class. But then after I finished all my Stygma emails, then I've got nothing to do. So I just sort of, they're like, well, how about, can you help us with this because this guy isn't answering? I'm like, okay, what do you need? It's like, can you do this text for us? I'm like, yeah, there you go. How about this? And I think, I know Powerslide also in the past have hired and fired people very quickly in a way that has upset people. But I think I would never consciously step on someone else.
I know, man. I know. I now feel a little bit what you're talking about. I feel that now since I got back to Powerslide, there's a lot of new people inside the brand that wasn't there when I first were, and some of them don't even know what I did before for the brand or which brands I worked. So some people might feel like that with me now, but like, you know what? I do this because I love it, and I'm like, I think I'm the luckiest guy alive for that. So. And that's why I felt like I needed to tell you this, so at least it's recorded.
Yeah. Well, I would apologize for my part. I will say I never knew, but I understand completely. I mean, if I was pushed out of something I love by someone, I would be very upset.
No, but you need to do your thing good, because if you really love it, man, put the time in it. That's it, and I didn't. So. Let's go. Next question. Next question. Let's.
Give me 1 second. I'm freezing cold. I'm just going to put a hoodie on.
It's all good.
Short advert break, and I'm back.
How big is skating in Spain, man?
It's hard to say, but it must be so much bigger than the majority of places. For example, we get a week around 200 people in our classes. That's of which maybe about 30 something are kids around age between 4 and 10.
On an average day, like.
Like Monday to Friday, maybe 20, but like on the weekends, 150 to 200.
And just a shop question that has nothing to do with that. Do you have days that you don't sell skates at all?
No.
Okay. And like the day that you sell the most skates, how much skates did you sold in a shop in one day?
Jeez, that's a hard question because I'm not in the shop so much. Maybe, I don't know, 20 pairs or something.
Okay, that's really good. Just like,
but yeah.
And you were saying like classes, and you do more events other than the classes, or?
We do like one skate night a month where anyone can come.
Okay.
Other than that, we've done a couple of things, but it's quite hard to organize. Like because a lot of the stuff we would have to do would be volunteer to organize an event because events cost a fortune. And also, we don't really need to. We're already like stressed to the limit. Like when we started the business, it was just it started me in my basement, and then That was Roller Outlet. And then ROEX started with me and my business partner. And now there's 8 of us, you know, in 2.5 years or something. And even that's not enough to manage it. It's crazy. So we don't like, even just doing what we do now is stressful without having to add events to it. But we're just trying to start new skaters. That's what the classes are all about. To show people how much fun it can be.
Okay. Do you also have different levels of classes? I remember the last time I was in Barcelona, like 2-3 months ago. There was this. Sorry, I remember that when I was in Barcelona, like 2-3 months ago, there was this shop, Roller 360 or something like that, and they were doing sliding classes. Do you also have like sliding classes and all these different types of classes?
On the Saturdays, we do junior, advanced junior, beginner, secondary beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And then the advanced, for example, would be doing slides, jumps, all of that stuff. And the intermediate would be learning how to like do small jumps and go backwards and stuff. And then the beginner classes are basically going up and down stairs. So we do everything. And in the week, we do aggressive, free skate, which includes slides and jumps and stuff. Roller fit, which is just like a intense workout. And what else do we do? I'm missing one. Oh, beginner again.
That's
of course,
cool.
Beginner's the main one because a lot of people come to the shop and they're like, oh, I don't know if maybe I don't like skating, so I don't really think I'm going to buy some. You're like, okay, how about this? You come to the class for free. We'll lend you skates for free. And if you don't like it, don't buy skates. And of course, everyone likes skating. Who doesn't like skating? It's impossible.
That smile on your face, just priceless, huh?
It's amazing. Like when people come in and I'm like, so did you enjoy it? They're like, I love it. Show me which skates I should buy. Like, here we go. You know, and no, it's not about our business for me. It's like about the whole thing. You know, starting myself on a pair of skates in the 90s and now being able to see so many people on skates again. It feels like you've formed a part of the whole thing. I don't know.
And do you think that your personality, which is like super obvious with the social media from ROEX, do you think that helps having more people into skating? Because I know like a lot of times that you guys make some marketing stuff, like whatever, those little funny videos, a lot of people end up sharing, which some, in my opinion, that helps skating. But do you think you have a lot more clients because of it? People get to the shop because of your social media strategy, or? Yeah,
for sure. Like, you know, numbers are always a good reference for our business. We have like 38,000 on Facebook and like 30-something thousand on Instagram too. I think people consider you a serious business when you have that much of a following. And I think they probably take it into account when they're searching for shops, or, you know, they'll probably go, well, if these people have 38,000 followers and 4.9 star reviewed. And we get that from, I guess, just have fun. Like, a lot of the videos are definitely not orientated to selling. Like, they're nothing to do with selling skates.
Yeah, but it's not about selling the skate. It's about people spreading skating. But people will share skating, and somehow they're like advertising skating in general. But what I like the most is
just advertising. It's personality in it, and there's also fun and a very positive vibe. We never go for like negative stuff. So it's just like, you know, skating's fun, funny, friendship, and have a laugh. And I mean, I don't know how many non-skaters see our videos, but
I think a lot of people see it. A lot of people, and now every now and then I get like someone sharing stuff that you guys made on my Facebook or something, or like a message on Instagram, or like a comment on Instagram with my name. What I think it's interesting is that you guys have like such a big audience, but you keep doing everything in Spanish. Of course, you are based in Spain, but don't you guys sell to the rest of Europe, or just sell in Spain?
Yeah, we do. The problem is if you do post in 2 languages, you alienate people. It's weird. I've tried doing stuff in English, but then the Spanish people won't share it. I once did a test where I did exactly the same post, like a meme type post, in Spanish and in English, and to see which one had more reactions, and the Spanish one did by a long way. Also, of course, our business is definitely mainly in Spain. And then you just have to decide to follow one thing. Because if you do half from this, half from that, you sort of lose, I think you lose your core.
Yeah.
Because we definitely have people that are there every day, liking what we do, sharing what we do. I think if they started saying stuff like, yeah, mate, have a look at this one. They'd sort of not not really get it.
I get it. I get
Facebook
it.
Facebook does have the option of translating some. I think it's the photo posts. So we add in translations. If your browser is in English, you will see it.
Depending on where you are, you'll see it.
Yeah.
In that language. That's cool.
But you know, our international sales are a lot lower than our national ones, so we have to stick to a theme.
Okay. And what's your relation with Flying Eagle? How did it start? What do you do for them now? What's exactly your role?
Okay, the Flying Eagle thing is a really good story. I don't know if I get into the whole thing, but when we opened the shop, we planned to work a lot with like associations and free skate school, and we also were going to be the first 100% inline shop. I don't know if in Spain, but one of the first for sure, like 100% inline, nothing else. Not because I don't like anything else, but because we wanted to be specialists. And Seba weren't answering our emails. Fila sold to us, Powerslide sold to us, and Rollerblade pulled out like 3 days before we had to open, which was horrible. At the time, it's horrible. Imagine you've invested your life savings into a business, and they just we asked them for the information. They came and visited us. They said the project looked great, and we're like, oh, we're waiting for our order. Have you got any news? And they're like, oh yes, you guys. Oh, yeah, we're not going to sell to you.
Why don't they sell to you guys?
I have honestly no idea. Like at the time, maybe because we were a new small shop and they thought it wasn't worth it. But now we're one of the biggest shops in Spain, at least, and they still won't sell to us. And I have no idea why. It makes no sense to me. Like business-wise, I think they.
You think it has anything to do with the powerblading thing?
Sure.
You think
it has? I just don't like. I've spoken to Rollerblade International about it, and they like us. But it's a Spanish problem. The
it's Rollerblade Spain that doesn't sell to you, is that it?
Rollerblade Spain, yeah. And I honestly can't think of one reason how it would make business sense for them, because we sell in like tons and tons of skates, and none of them are rollerblades. So you know,
is there any other shop next to you that sells rollerblade or something like that? Could that be it?
Yeah, but there's since then other shops have opened near us that do sell rollerblade. It's only us that don't. But anyway, that's
at least you're unique, huh?
Yeah. So basically, imagine you opening with your life savings an inline only skate shop, and you have no Seba, you have no rollerblade, and you're just selling Powerslide and Fila. So people were coming to the shop, trying on all of our skates, and then going to another shop so they could try on the rest. So they'd even buy stuff that they tried on our shop, but in another shop. And that was like heartbreaking. I'd spend an hour there with people trying on skates, and I'd see them the next day with the same skates bought from someone else so they could try other skates on. I said, I'm not having this. And I just went out looking. And actually some rollerblader from Africa sent me a message, and he's like, will you sponsor me? And I said, I'm sorry, we're not sponsoring riders from Africa. We don't even have enough money to sponsor riders in our own city at the minute. And he said, okay, anyway, I'll give you this secret. And he sent me a link to Flying Eagle, like with a bunch of photos of their skates. And I was like, whoa, these look really good. And then so we ordered some samples from them, like just one of each. And I mean, their quality is sublime, like absolutely amazing. I felt like the Falcon fit me the best fit I'd ever had. And I published a picture doing a trick on them. And then Powerslide said, you can't import foreign skate brands because that goes against the rules of European, I don't know, whatever. I think Matthias was upset that I wasn't focusing on Powerslide. But as a business, I had to have more options. Otherwise, I was not going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I said, fine, that's it. I've had enough of all of you. I'm going to go for Flying Eagle, and you guys can sell to me or not sell to me if you want. It doesn't bother me. And then we just started importing a small amount for the shop. But by then, the whole of all the European brands blocked us, like boycotted, said that no one sells to ROEX anymore. On the other hand, Tracy from Flying Eagle was treating us so well and really helping us make it work. And in a time where obviously business-wise it was very stressful, we had a lot of investment, we didn't have enough products to fill the shelves. They came through for us. I mean, we even got hacked. Like our account got hacked for a lot of money. And we were like close to going, yeah, it was a crazy story. And she helped sort it out. It was amazing. Like, I mean, that's a story for another day, but we were about to literally just die after opening because of this. Like, everything we had was taken. But she supported us through all of this. And then now Flying Eagle is what it is. You know, they help us. I help them for free with ideas and design, and at the same time they treat us incredibly well. So that's they're my peeps now. They're my homies. And
and do you have any
really
any role with them right now? Do you work with them? You don't, or because I know that I've seen some of the social media for them, like the Flying Eagle Europe and all that. I think that's made by you, right?
What? Sorry, I've lost you.
Sorry, the social media for Flying Eagle Europe or something like that, isn't that made by you?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's like
so what happened was because no one was selling to us, but we were selling Flying Eagle, and it was going really well. We just said, well, why don't we become the distribution? So we opened a distribution company, which is Renegade Distribution, to distribute Flying Eagle. So apart from ROEX, I also co-own the Flying Eagle Europe distribution, which means that as a distribution company, you have to run the media and everything. But I help them when they have to do catalogs and stuff. I organize all the media. I organize the riders, help with design, because obviously it's in my interest that the skates come out good. So I guess I'm doing the same job I was doing for Powerslide. That's really just managing from a distance. Yeah, I don't know, like, and since then everyone's got friendly again, because I think Flying Eagle behaved very well. I think they were worried about a Chinese brand coming in and just causing havoc and cutting prices and making crappy products, but instead they make good stuff, and we've made sure that everything's very clean. So, you know, we're working with the other brands again now, except Rollerblade, but, you know, I don't know why. But everyone's made peace now. Everything's calm and cruising along nicely.
And is there any new product coming out that you want to talk about? Is there anything exciting?
Like, obviously, we've got all the new line coming next.
That was the aggressive skate, wasn't it? An aggressive skate.
Yeah, actually, that aggressive skate I've been working on for over 2 years. The problem is just as I was starting work on it, I got really ill, as you know, and made it very hard. Also, being a small company, I didn't have my own 3D designer, and I couldn't, like, I had to make everything with clay. So I was literally making products out of, like, you know, the stuff you have on your kid, and then heating it in the oven. I know
exactly. I do that because I'm in Africa, you know. When I need to do something, I do it in clay. I take pictures. I can take it to.
So frustrating because it's impossible to make it millimetric. You know, you make it all almost perfect. You touch it a little bit. It's like, damn it, and smooth it over. So it's taken about two years, more or less. But the final sample is being confirmed now. So if we're lucky, we'll have aggressive skates from Flying Eagle by Christmas.
Isn't it frustrating? Like, because I remember that you had I've seen a picture of a frame.
Yeah.
Maybe like a year ago, and it seemed to be something that I feel like 2 or 3 months ago, Ground Control came out with that.
I know. In fact, Kevin Chow was helping me make this frame, and we had it all made. And then he heard that Ground Control were making one, or someone told me that Ground Control were making one almost the same. And I was like, crap. And I released the picture, even though I knew it wasn't ready, because as someone that doesn't have like a big team behind them, I just wanted to hear all the feedback. So I basically read 100 comments of what people said. Oh, this should be more like that. Why isn't it like this? Why isn't it like that? I took all that feedback and to develop it. And it's changed a lot since then. It's also changed the wheel size. Everything's changed. But I didn't want people to think I was immediately copying Ground Control. Because it just wasn't ready. And we've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, but at the same time, you wanted to put it out before people saying that you're copying. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was just, I just wanted people to know that we were trying to do something. Is
it a soft boot skate, a hard boot skate, a carbon thing?
It's a hard boot skate. It's something that no one's done ever before. How about that, huh?
That's cool.
That's all I can say. I'm really afraid someone's going to leak it. I think it's also not aimed for like the hardcore aggressive. It's something that's a bit different. But I don't want to say much because I want it to be really
I see big wheels in it. It's not hardcore, it's big wheels things. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We can stop it right now. What? Sorry?
It's not like a Trimax.
You don't like the Trimax? Have you tried the Trimax?
No, I haven't. No, I mean, it's not like the Trimax. It's not that big wheels.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be 4x66.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sort of an in-between size for nowadays.
Oops, that's me. That's my phone telling me I need to work.
Is it the musical part of the interview now?
No. It's my phone telling me that I need to work because I'm really, really bad with memory. So I had my phone. Don't forget to work. No, it's my phone with alarms telling me what I need to do at each time.
Oh, okay. I was saying that if you have an alarm to tell you not to forget to work, I'm not surprised what happened with Powerslide.
No, but check this. We were supposed to start at 11, and I told you we would be counting on like around 2 hours. So it's 10 past 1, and my alarm just told me you need to do this.
No.
That's how like someone like me needs to organize. Otherwise, I lose myself in my thoughts, man. I'm just like,
yeah. You goddamn hippie.
No, I'm not a hippie. That's the thing. I don't smoke or I don't even drink. Man, Janice is pregnant, like I told you. And like she's pregnant like
congratulations.
Thank you so much, man. She's pregnant 8 months. Thank you. And since she's pregnant, I haven't been drinking not even one beer or anything like that. I haven't been drinking anything. That
sounds terrible.
No, it's good. I can't complain, man. I love it. It's good. You're way more productive. I love it. And
I find I go crazy if I don't have any beers ever.
No, it's good. Like, man, when my baby comes, then I can have a beer every now and then. But it was good to be like 9 months. It's and until now it's 8 without drinking anything, which is a cool thing.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's good.
Thank you so much, man. And you were telling me
because you're on big wheels. Yeah.
What did you say?
Because you're a big wheel skater, not an aggressive skater anymore.
I skate a bit of everything. Ooh. I'm in fact playing a game. Have you seen that game? I'm playing a game of Blade with Felipe Zambardino.
I saw it today for the first time. Actually, I hadn't seen it.
Dude,
before.
Have you seen what he did? What the trick that the last trick he did?
He's so good though, that guy.
I know. I need to think of a good one now. He did like, I don't know if I can. I think I can still do it. Maybe I don't know with the fakie, because he did fakie to 70. Backslide to alley top soul to front Savannah. I can do the thing without fakie. I think I've never tried it. With the fakie, I don't know if I get speed enough.
Wait, what are you gonna do it on a ramp?
Yeah, it's a mini ramp game of Blade.
Jeez, impossible.
Nah, it is.
Give up now.
I think I can still do it. Maybe I'll try. I don't know. But my next trick, I need to go. Oh, man, I need to go on like stupid shit. I can't do the normal tricks. Otherwise, you'll do it. He's way too good.
Yeah, that's always the best way to win those games. Anyway.
Yeah, I need to go open books and stuff like that.
Get involved with some X-grind mixes.
The Randy Spicer. Remember the Randy Spicer shin slide?
So with the shins, yeah, that's a good idea. At least if he wins, at least he's hurt his shins.
Ah, man, I'm just enjoying it, but I'm way too competitive for this. I just don't want to get hurt. Anyway, let's get back to the interview. So I was going to ask you something in the beginning of your reply to my last question. You're saying that since you got ill, you couldn't really focus that much on that aggressive skate project. Some people listening to this probably don't know what's happening with you. Do you instead of me saying what it is, can you talk a little bit about it, and when did you find out? And
it's horrible. It's really horrible. Like 2 years ago, a bit less, I started having like pain in my balls. Basically, I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was from skating, like I'd done some trick and it banged it or something. And I went to different doctors, and they were like, "Oh, it should be normal. I think it's normal." Luckily, the second doctor said, "Do you want to do an ultrasound just in case?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" And then they were like looking around the area, and they found a lump, well, like a dark mass inside my stomach, I guess. And then that was around September 2000. 15, 15, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They decided that after a lot of back and forth, and I got TAC scans and stuff, it was really scary at the time, that I had a tumor, but they were like, it's very unlikely it's a bad tumor. It's going to be fine. We'll just operate on you. And I was going to be operated on the day after Christmas in Spain. And I went to the hospital, and they were like, look, we've talked to another hospital, and they think it might be more serious. We have to do a biopsy on you. I was like, okay. I didn't know what any of this meant. I thought I was like going to live forever, you know. And then they did a biopsy, and I went to the doctors, and they were like, listen, we've got some bad news. It's really bad. And I was like, what do you mean really bad? They're like, well, we can't operate on you. You've got a tumor which is touching a lot of things, like a 10 centimeter tumor. We can't operate on you, but we're going to refer you to another hospital, and maybe they can. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean maybe they can? What does it mean? And they're like, well, if not, you know, it's probably too late, and you know, maybe you can try some experimental drugs. Or I was like, what does that mean? Am I dead? Like, is this the end? Like, we can't say anything else. And I was like, is this a thing that happened? And they're like, this is one of 30 cases that has happened in the last 30 years, I think, worldwide, of the actual place where it is. Anyway, so no one called me for 2 weeks at this point. It was like, obviously my family and my girlfriend and everyone were, well, we were all just blown away, but I didn't really know what it meant. And they finally decided they were going to try and operate on me, knowing that it was already a risky operation, because it was touching both my arteries and my kidney, and they weren't sure if it was touching my liver, pancreas. They just didn't know how bad it was because it was growing so fast. Anyway, they did an operation on me which lasted for about 11 hours, I think.
About when was that?
This was last March.
Yeah, okay. I saw you before that. Then I saw you in ISPO. That was after ISPO, not this ISPO, the one before.
Yeah, just before the ISPO. Yeah, because they weren't sure then still if they were going to operate or not. And it was like a 11-hour operation. Obviously, I woke up and I was destroyed. You know, I couldn't walk for a long time. The recovery, I'm still recovering now, you know, from that operation. Like, I can't move very fast. If I go upstairs, I get really faint. They took out one of my kidneys. They closed off my vena cava completely. So one of my arteries is closed, and they put a bypass on my aorta. So my blood pressure is really slow because it has to pump around from one artery. It basically ended my skating in terms of proper skating for a long time.
I still see you skating every now and then. I still see
like after a while I could start rolling around again. There's still like a bunch of other medical problems which like I still don't know how hard it's going to be for me to have kids, stuff like that, which really sucks. And then a year later I got more tests and it had come back again, you know, on my on my liver, sorry. And then so I had to do radiotherapy, and I just got another operation last week. So it's really, really hard for me. The hardest thing is the people around me, you know.
Of course.
Like I'm getting married next month, and we both have to live with not knowing what the future's going to be. My family, of course, because they don't live in this country. So, and I'm in hospitals like a lot every week, you know. It sucks. It's changed me in certain ways, you know. Like I'm not afraid of anything anymore, which is good, but it also means I'm very angry. It made me angry. I think some people might end something like that thinking, yay, I have a second chance, what a wonderful life. For some reason, I've come out like, I don't know, like even the smallest things make me really angry. Not violent angry, just like...
Yeah, not that sensitive anymore, just like, it is what it is. Like it or not, that's what I got.
Yeah, like if Rollerblade or K2 do something I don't like, I just get furious and I want to blow up something. I don't know. It's a hard thing to deal with mentally, because I think the whole life, people can go through stuff where they say, oh, my life sucks, my girlfriend broke up with me and I twisted my ankle, or, you know, oh, shit, I lost my house keys. And then you always go, well, at least I have my health. But now I can't really say, oh, well, at least I have my health. It's just like, well, at least I have mobile phone.
Is it painful for you? Because like the other day you told me, I was speaking with you Monday. Today's Thursday, so I was speaking with you Monday, and we were trying to organize this thing, and then out of nowhere you just had to go to the hospital. Like,
yeah, well, they operated on my hydrocell on Wednesday last week, so I can't really walk properly. And it was all swollen everywhere. I don't know. It's painful because I feel like an 80-year-old man. You know, I don't feel like a 35-year-old at all. I get tired. I just get really tired all the time, and also worry. And the actual operations, you know, they hurt for a week or two maybe, and then you start feeling better again. And then something else happens. Yeah, it sucks.
Ah, man, it is what it is. You're here. We're talking about it, and you've done a lot of good things for what we love. Of course, it's not the most important thing, but you have like a family around you supporting you.
Yeah.
And you're trying your best to get the best you can.
I could say it's, at the same time, it's been the best year of my life, you know, because me and my fiance are just amazing together. I love it. And that makes me really happy, you know, and I've been in really difficult relationships in the past, and that was as painful maybe or more than this. So it's all, I think your biggest problem is painful, however big it is. If your biggest problem is you can't find the charger for your phone, that's stressful.
Yeah.
I think you get to a point where there's not like more stress. You just, the way it is. It's the way it is.
Okay.
I can't complain.
And I'm going to try to move away from that, and then trying to get back into the main reason why we started doing this interview, skating. So, like, for someone who's been into skating for so long, like you, when did you first start skating? I didn't make you that question.
I was like 8 years old. So
yeah, you started like on inline skates or roller skates first?
Quads. I was on roller skates for many years, maybe till about 13, 14, from 8.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ones with cuffs, you know?
Yeah, no.
Old school plastic type. Bauer Turbo, was it Rossi's Turbo? Bauer Turbo? What's it like?
I don't even know, but I know which ones you're talking about. I think it's Bauer.
Yeah, and I had both. I had Rossi's ones and Bauer, and they both had like green wheels. I didn't want to go to inline skates. Everyone else was on inlines, and I was like, nah, quads are way better.
But you were doing tricks on those?
On a half pipe.
Were you doing tricks on those?
Not really, just jumps and stuff. I didn't even know what tricks were. And then I saw like a Red Bull pipe demo on inline, and I was like, wow, I need them tomorrow.
Do you remember the guys doing the Red Bull demo? Who were they?
They were all the English guys. I just remember they were, one of them was skating King 55s, and I thought they looked amazing.
That was already the King 55s time, so it's not dead.
Yeah, no, I didn't know aggressive skating existed for a long
like
time.
98.
Like my first aggressive skates were
98.
Yeah, like 97. I started aggressive with Fifth Elements.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had been skating, but I didn't know aggressive skate. I was more like doing hockey with my friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know aggressive existed. It wasn't like the internet then, you know. It was whatever you found in magazines or stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember, like, I was thinking about it yesterday, how excited I was, like, because I come from a really tiny town in Portugal. So I remember in my tiny town back then, there was, like, only one magazine. It was called Roller Mag. Do you remember Roller Mag from France?
Yeah.
So I don't think they were that consistent. Every now and then they would come in 2 months, and then they would come every 3 months.
Crazy Roller.
No, it was before Crazy Roller.
No,
it was like
95,
maybe 96 probably. And I remember, like, there was like a little shop selling that magazine every now and then. And I remember it was like 2 km from my house. And I remember running from my house to the shop like almost every week to see if the magazine was there. And I remember putting it in my head, like, I'm not going to think that the magazine is there. So if the magazine is there, I'm going to be really, really happy. But if the magazine isn't, then I'm still not sad. So something like that. But it
was like that with BMAG, not BMAG. I mean Daily Bread, and there was only one shop in Barcelona that had Daily Breads, and it was the same. We'd always go there and check.
But before
magazines
were
cool, man.
I remember, they were. Now there's that. Have you seen the Triskate magazine from Canet? Did it? Have you seen it?
No, I've just seen a photo of the cover. We took some photos for that actually at the shop.
That's cool. You should get some at the shop then.
But it's not really the same as like a it's like a Powerslide catalog, really, isn't it? I'd imagine.
Kind of, not written. Yeah, you'll see a lot of products. It explains the products, it does, but it doesn't say this wheel is good for this. It says these sized wheels are good for this, which you can see it as a catalog, but you can see it as a magazine. It's like there's a lot of different people and a lot of different styles of skating, and it's not just by this product. It's like this sized wheels, this type of frame is for this, which is.
But is it all Powerslide products?
Yeah, from what I know, yes. I've seen the magazine on an iPad, on Kenneth's iPad. I haven't seen the printed issue yet. I'm waiting on it, so soon. I'm waiting on an order here. But my question, that's why I started. That's why I made you the question. When did you start skating? Because I was going to ask you, for someone skating for that long, how do you see skating going? Because somehow I don't want to think it's just me, so that's why I'm making a discussion. Somehow I feel like skating is growing, and all this big wheel thing is bringing like old people that used to skate into skating. But for someone who's been teaching skating and working so much with skating, do you really think that somehow skating is growing? Is there like a new generation of skaters, or not really?
I mean, at least from where I live, definitely. I think that big wheel skating, although the aggressive world was very anti it in the majority, it's a really good evolution. You know, I think pro skaters are so good, and you like people getting into the sport. It's sort of way beyond. I think it's almost unmotivating to know that you can maybe get that good over 10 years, but you'd never really like make the money, as it were, if that's what you want. It's fun, but this whole big wheel thing is also really good fun, and it's like a blank page right now. There's people are coming out with like the mushroom blading stuff, which is sort of small technique-y stuff. You've got the Powerslide, more fitnessy stuff to get healthy. You've got a lot of young kids trying it, and you have the free skate stuff, which is not 100% defined yet. So you can sort of create a name for yourself. You can. It's like I said, like a complete blank canvas, and I think it's really exciting to think that anything can happen.
And I think you said something which is important, which is somehow the aggressive skaters were like super. I wouldn't say picky, and maybe some still are, like blocking everything which isn't that type of skating. But this type of skating and the mushroom blading guys and whatever people have been doing with the big wheels and just free skating in general, somehow it's opening people's minds to other types of skating other than just grinding a ledge or just skating 10 meters, doing the grind and come back.
It's really hard. The like slides and stuff are really hard. And if you look at the new websites coming out, even for aggressive skating, like the Blader Union one, you see it has a big wheel section as well, you know? Mm-hmm. Almost every aggressive skater nowadays, they've started buying free skates or Trimaxes or big wheels. If you'd have taken out the Trimax 5 or 6 years ago, people would be furious. And now people really like it. And you know, I remember times when aggressive skaters would ask that I not take any pictures of them with big wheel skates on, even though they'd use them all the time. But they're the same ones now that are constantly doing edits. You know, it's like it's already happening, and I think it's the best way to make skating grow. And I think from that amount of people getting into big wheel skating, you know, many of them are going to go to aggressive. Of course they are, because once they feel like, you know, that they've learned as much as they want to on big wheels, of course the next stage is aggressive. See, if we have an aggressive skate classes, and every single one of the aggressive skaters, maybe except one or two, are people that first bought free skates and then bought aggressive skates because they want to learn more stuff on skates because they love it, you know?
Yeah, but that's what I keep saying. That's why I think we need more kids, because we need people to start skating and then they decide what they want to do. If they want to play hockey, if they want to do figure skating, if they want to whatever, they just need to first get on skates. So that makes total sense.
Learn how to, like, the enjoyment of flying around. Like, your first skates were, I imagine, bigger wheels than like aggressive, right? I mean, I had Rossi's LAX, which were probably 70.
My first street skates, they were like the Rochi Street, but before that, 3 years before that, I had some speed skates, some Bont boots with Mojima frame, like 80 millimeters 5 wheels with like a speed skate, but they were completely different. I used to love to roll, and then somehow I lost that passion because of the pressure of competition.
Had it deep inside of us, I guess, because like all of the people from the last generation or our generation, we started on there in the 90s. Like we had big wheels, and then we loved skating, and then we wanted to learn how to grind. But I think maybe now the last 10 years, people immediately buy aggressive skates, and you're almost walking on them to jumping on things. It's
kind of like extreme, you know, like skateboarding also at that time that they went really, really small on wheels, and then they somehow starting bigger until they find something which is like kind of like a standard now. Inline skating, like aggressive skating, kind of went like through that, man. There was like a 52 millimeter wheel from Elegy, if I'm not wrong. My wheel, I have, like we said before, for 2 years in a row, I had a 54. I think that was a Gonzo wheel from Elegy, also was a 53. So there were like small wheels, but I think it was kind of like a testing, you know, like going extremely small. And now it's like, now it's going probably not, it's even going bigger. I don't know if they're going to do the same with the small size, but going to the extremes of big wheels. And then also you see some people going to super, super hard wheels. Are they trying to find that extreme hardness, the most extreme hardness that you can go? I don't know. Have you tried to skate?
I guess we all experiment. It's nice that people are accepting all these different things, you know. Maybe 5 years ago, so if someone had said, oh, I'm going to use 62 millimeter wheels on my skates, they're like, oh, that's cheating. That's terrible. You're a fitness skater.
Yeah. But some people still, like some brands still don't accept it, huh? Some brands are like,
but
you won't see any of the Velo riders skating a power blading frame or a 3-wheel skate.
No.
I respect that. It's they want to be like, they want to get restricted to that type of skating, but I don't know, somehow.
I think also Velo is American brand, you know, an American skate scene is very different.
Is it really
Europe.
American?
You know, Europe is, well, obviously not. It's Italian, but I mean, their marketing is from America. So, you know, the Americans don't generally have that much respect for things coming out of Europe, I would say, a risk of being in trouble. But in Europe, we have really good cities for skating. We don't drive. Like, I don't know anyone that owns a car almost, you know. And our cities are a lot older, and there's a lot more interesting architecture to play with. I think I can understand that if you live in, you know, outside Los Angeles or something, you're not really going to want to big wheel skate much, because where you're going to go, just around the hood.
You can still go a lot faster, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think you always have the straight edge, and the same as music. You know, you have the punk fans and the Justin Bieber fans.
Yeah, like people have different tastes, and I respect that. So that's it.
Yeah.
Going back to the America thing, I don't want to make anyone mad, but do you have any idea how many skaters there are in America? Because like there are still some brands focusing their marketing in the American market, but do we have that many skaters in America?
Not. I mean,
I'm talking aggressive skating, not even free skating, but we'll go there after.
I mean, like I have no idea about the American market, but from what I hear from rumors and stuff, I think that the sales are much lower than Europe. I mean, I like aggressive is a mystery. You know, you see the same videos of the same people mainly, and rarely, you know, you see a few new names pop up and stuff. But how many of these skaters even buy their skates? You know, I don't know. Like
that's why
when I was a kid, you go to a skate park and there'd be hundreds of people on new skates. Now I just don't. I mean, I live in a city which has thousands of bladers, and I sell barely any aggressive skates. And the ones that come, they're like, "Do you have anything secondhand?" It's just, I can't. I don't know.
And I still see that, like the ones having the new skates somehow. The ones skaters that have the new skates usually are the ones that get the skates given, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, but maybe it's the people I'm surrounded by. I don't know. So maybe not.
I don't know. Yeah, but you don't have. I can't think of people releasing edits like first day on my brand new something or other. Like, you know. But I also feel like, what skates would you buy? I'm not excited about any skates at the minute. Back in the day, is like, oh, the new Cyrus, the new CRS.
Wait, my dog just went mad. Wait just a second. Deco, come here. Woo. Someone might be outside stealing something. My dog just went mad. There you go. Come here.
It's not funny.
Come here. Come. South Africa, man. Sorry to interrupt. You can get back into it.
Someone stole my headphones. I think like the only exciting skate that I can think of right now is the Eon.
Yeah. Have you tried the AM?
I think no, I don't really like it. The idea.
I love it, man. I still want to try some stuff with mine. I got the 60s. I had the 72s, but now I just skate the 60s. But I still want to try to skate the 60s with a little bit bigger wheels, just in front and back, and then probably use them with anti-rockers just to try. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I like how
I'm
low
having a serious crisis of skates. I'm sure the Aeon's good, but I know when I like a skate or not just by looking at it. And I thought I liked the K2s, but they bruised my ankles. Or both sides of both ankles completely bruised from skating them. They're so stiff.
Yeah, a lot of people say that they're really stiff.
Yeah,
and
but
they say that they block the cuff to bend back, right? Is that it? You can bend it.
Yeah, it's bent back, but even side to side. I love stiff skates, but I took these off and my ankles were blue on both sides, and I was like, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And then before that, the last skates I used were TRS, some Alpha, whichever ones, I don't know, Alphas, I think.
Yeah, I saw those with big wheels, the yellow wheels.
Yeah, but the new Flying Eagle ones, they're amazing. Best skates ever in the world. Actually, I do like them a lot. I'm testing them. I was testing them before my last operation, but it's hard to test things when you're bloody sick all the time.
And how do you do, somehow Barcelona still have a lot of skaters, right? How do you do to test a pair of skates in Barcelona without no one leaking pictures of your skates?
It's really hard, and
it's tricky,
hope that. I mean, luckily I have a grind box, and I have people that I can say very seriously to. So far, if anyone's testing them, I'm with them. I'm not letting any pictures get out, But some people have pictures, but I really don't want them to go online. Also, I only get as far as I know, I think I only get the samples delivered to me so I can control it. Because, for example, what happened to razors now, it's terrible. It's terrible. That photo was really not a very good photo of those skates. You know the switches?
Yeah, but who put that picture out there? It looked like it was a shop, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a shop. Because, obviously I got sent that picture in January. Not that one, but a picture of the skate in January. And so did all the shops in my email list. Maybe 30, 40, 50 shops. So a lot of people have seen those skates, but no one on the internet. But you just sort of have to respect that. But when shops release pictures, it's man, when I was working for Powerslide and shops did that, it would just destroy you because nothing would come out maybe for 3 weeks. And by the time that, maybe 3 months, and then other sales would be affected. Leaking is terrible.
Yeah, sometimes the leaking was controlled, with Mind Game. Mind Game somehow, it felt like they knew what they were doing when something was leaked,
Yeah.
But that was a different thing. That's
you can definitely leak on. I leaked those frames, but it was really just because I wanted feedback, not because they were being released, But you can do clever leaking, but not obviously razors. It sucks because you could tell that they emailed everyone, take this down, take this down, take this. It's too late. It always makes it even more exciting for everyone to share it before they get taken down,
It's quite sad because I like what Andy has been doing. A lot of people complained about Andy just investing a lot in scooters and all that. But the truth is, if he wasn't doing the scooter thing, there wouldn't be any money to put back on razors. So
yeah, I think that no one can be judged unless they're enslaving children. My philosophy is 100% skater. Well, not my philosophy, my business. 100% skater run. We only sell inline skates, but I don't think that we're any better people than someone that sells yo-yos. It doesn't matter if that's what your business model is. Why shouldn't it be?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think if Andy saw a good chance, for example, if I saw someone in the street selling I don't know, iPhones for €200, I'd buy them all and then I'd sell them myself. Just because it doesn't make me a bad person. It's just sometimes smart business, you know, you have to survive.
Of course, man. And like, how many people live from skating? Only very few people, and now even less. So
no one pretty much now, I guess. Like 10 people maybe.
You do if you have your own shop. That's what I'm talking about, living from skating, not
skaters.
really.
Oh yeah, I'm balling. I can't even afford headphones.
Man, but the thing is, like 2017, being a pro skater in 2017, it's not the same as being a pro skater in 2001 or 2. It's not about just being good at skating. It's a lot more than that, man. Being a pro,
have to contribute, yeah.
You have to be, man, the most professional skater that I know. It's for sure, and I'm pretty sure that you.
Wait, we say it we do 3, 2, 1 and say it at the same time.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Nick Lomax.
Nick Lomax.
Man, he's amazing. He's the only one that.
Amazing.
He films, he edits, he skates all types of skating. He's cool with kids.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's like,
and not only, he's also extremely loyal. He's a good person. He's honest, and he gets up early to go out skating every day. That's
he's professional. He is the most professional skater that I have ever met, and I really respect that.
Like when I used to go on tours with him and a bunch of other skaters, like a lot of them would just be wasted, hungover, and he would have drunk as much, probably more. They're more destroyed than anyone, and he would get there and he would perform like non-stop, and then he would collapse, whatever, you know, back at the hotel. But on the next day, him again, and as team manager, you can't put like a price on that, man. He saved stops. Like when kids were disappointed because their favorite pros were not doing anything other than drinking a beer and crying in a corner, and then Nick's flying about. At the end, it's just like, Nick, man, you saved that stop again, over and over.
Do you miss those times?
Okay, yeah. Do I miss those times? No, I've grown out of it now. At the time, it was fun, and looking back, like the stories are like being a rock star, and that's amazing. But you don't want to do that when you're older. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, it makes you really strong, character-wise, you know, to put up with all kind of stuff in the future. But
wait, there goes my gangster dog. Wait, there goes my gangster dog. He's about to
get him. Get him!
Told you.
USA.
Decker, come here. Come here. Come. There's the guy on a bicycle just outside the gate, and the gate is kind of far from here, so. Man, I got a good guard dog.
I've seen your dog. I'm not sure I would protect you from that many.
No, but it's just weird, man. You know what? Somehow in Africa, black people are scared of black dogs. I don't know why, but it's. I don't know. It's something. I don't know why. I seriously don't know why, and they're so scared of black dogs, and somehow they feel it. So
that's crazy.
They tend to. Yeah. See. I think my dog is just telling me it's time to finish this, huh?
Okay. I suppose, I think by now if someone's still listening, it's longer than the Titanic. Oh no, not that.
We'll see. No, I think...
film length. Jeez.
I'm pretty sure there's people interested in this.
You should offer someone a prize if they've got this far. Don't tell anyone, and then say, now, if you've got this far, you get a free... I don't know.
Okay, let's see. So if someone listened to this until now, they just need to leave a comment saying that they want a free class at your shop, or they get like a 5%. Anyway, they have a 5% discount at your shop.
There you go, 5% discount, and they can send me an email for that 5% discount.
Okay, see, we're gonna make the best.
we can call it the Lion Line.
The Lion Rawr. Thank you so much, Oli, man.
Oh, good, man. Thank you so much for having the time to listen.
No, man. It's so good. And I hope you feel better soon, man. If you need anything, I told you before, I'm going to tell you as many times as I need to. If you need anything that I can do for you, I'm here. And I'm sorry about the way I felt about you when I was doing a bad job.
That's okay. I'm sorry that I caused that too. There's always takes two to tango. And thanks for the offer. The only thing I needed this morning was headphones. Anyway, thank you so much for everything. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure you're inspiring many people with your project.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it, huh? Let's stay in touch then. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
And that was the end of this conversation with Mr. Oli Benet. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to listen to more of these and if you want to watch any of my skate related videos. Bye. Cheers.
Vou viver até quando